Tell me how, I got nothing to say. Tell me why, on my tombstone is blank. 'Cause I'm not the one who won't try. I'm not letting life pass me by. Tell me when the days are less gray. Tell me where is the road to less pain. How many days before I decay? It's getting so hard to get by. Where are all my trophies in life? And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. Set to sail to a place I can't say. Live a life worthy of chase. The time is today. New blood in my veins. I won't be the joker in life, playing the part I don't like. And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. Yeah. And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. 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 Young and hungry for life.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to OTS News. My name is MD from NY. I am the more sophisticated, more handsome, and less angry, younger brother of JD from NY. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Before we get into tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen, where Triple H will continue to use his WWE creative, the unpredictable Sesame Street-like creative, and Tony Khan, he's going to continue to book his mission of professional wrestling entirely through caffeine and random number generators. We need to take a moment for today's sponsor, because unlike both companies, these guys actually understand security. Tonight, we are sponsored by Cyber Ghost VPN.
You know what WWE has taught me over the years? Never trust anyone. That's why today's stream is sponsored by Cyber Ghost VPN. Managers spying on talent, wrestlers recording conversations. contracts getting stolen, security footage mysteriously leaking every Monday night. At this point, the WWE locker room have less privacy than public Wi-Fi at an airport. And honestly, online, it's not that much different. Everybody's tracking you. Your internet provider, websites, apps, random companies you've never even heard of. Meanwhile, people think that incognito mode actually protects them. Brother, let me tell you something. Incognito mode protects you as well as WWE security protecting a contract signing for a big championship match at a PLE. CyberGhost encrypts and reroutes 100% of your internet traffic through secure servers in over 100 countries, so nobody can track what you're doing online. And it's ridiculously easy to use. One click, turn it on, and you're protected. Plus, this thing is great for streaming. You can unlock libraries from over 40 different streaming platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, and more just by changing your virtual location. So if you're tired of seeing this content is unavailable in your country, CyberGhost's basically the international forbidden door. It works on Windows, Mac, Android, iPhone, even smart TVs and consoles, and you can protect up to 7 devices at once. So yes, you can share it with family members, friends, even that one guy still asking you for your Peacock password every single month. And the best part, CyberGhost doesn't keep logs. Not even they know what you're doing online. So right now, with our link in the description, you guys can get CyberGhost VPN for just $2.03 a month, plus 4 months free. That's 84% off. And there's a 45-day money-back guarantee, so it's completely risk-free. So hit the link in the description, protect your privacy, unlock more content, and stop letting the internet track you worse than Paul Heyman tracking Roman Reigns.
Promises fading after a while. Every word like a loaded dice. Every truth came wrapped in lies. I kept believing what you sold. Turned my heart into your home. But every crack inside these walls shows the truth behind it all. I tried to fix what you denied, but truth can't live where secrets hide. No more tears, no more disguise. I'm done living in your house of lies. Brick by brick it fades away. Nothing left for me to stay. Watch it crumble in my eyes. Goodbye to your house of lies. I'm walking out your house of lies. Let it burn into the night. No more tears, no more disguise. I'm done living in your house of lies. Brick by brick it fades away. Nothing left for me to stay. Watch it crumble in my eyes. Goodbye to your house of lies.
Oh my goodness! Man, I tell you what, I love a good happy hour, man. Drinks come at a discount. They got some nice appetizers. I can drink 4 drinks and get a whole plate of appetizers, man, for a cool $100. Normally, the 4 drinks would cost me over $100. Gotta love a good happy hour, man. You gotta love a good Monday Night Raw, too. Once again, we're back in Torino, Italy. We got Bron Breakker versus Seth Rollins in the main event, a proper main event. We got Jacob Fatu comically bowing to the tribal chief. As all the Bloodline avatars on X are upset that I can't stand this Bloodline slop. And we got the king and queen of the ring, man. We're going to look at the tournament brackets once again and assess the situations after this first week of both tournaments. I don't know about you guys, man. I got my cold beverage. Hopefully you guys got yours as well. We're going to the venue. And on this Monday afternoon happy hour, when I get to the venue, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there. isn't about errors. It also isn't about excuses. WWE has failed creatively. AEW has failed fundamentally. So why did Triple H lose the plot? Why did Tony Khan abandon everything that made AEW special? Because nobody is committed to the one thing that actually matters. Long-term booking. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Monday Night Raw post show for June 1st, 2026. I am your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS venue inside my mother's basement. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this Monday afternoon happy hour, wherever you may be. Fallout from Clash in Italy on Sunday night. Thank you guys for a great Clash in Italy post show yesterday afternoon. Really great stuff. We're nearing 45,000 views on that. Really appreciate the support there. We had a very, very good discussion, a downright great discussion about the current dilemma in WWE where Triple H just continues month by month to play everything completely safe. It is way too safe. Clash in Italy was a good show. Nothing really of importance happened on Sunday night. We come into Monday, and I thought tonight's Monday Night Raw was largely a very good show. And it was largely a very good show because WWE gave the show some meaning. WWE gave the show the first of the Fatal 4-Ways in the first round of the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. Anytime you do something like that and surround your show with tournament matches, consequences for winning and losing, the show automatically takes on a different level of importance compared to a normal week. They also gave you a proper main event, which has been an anomaly on this show. It's been like a ghostly apparition. Sometimes they want to show themselves, and most of the time they don't. Most of the time this show ends with a Samoan going through a table, or Roman Reigns belittling his family, or Jacob Fatu running through one of his cringy catchphrases. All gas, no brakes with it. Sure. Tonight we got a proper main event with Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker. Wink, wink. I think that's also going to be the final of the King of the Ring tournament. But you didn't hear that from me. You didn't hear that from me. Actually, you did. I've been saying Seth Rollins is going to win King of the Ring for many, many, many weeks now. I could be wrong, but I'm sticking with my intuitions on Seth Rollins winning the King of the Ring. Very good match between Bron Breakker and Seth Rollins. I thought it was better than their last one-on-one match, which took place at Backlash. I thought this was great with a great ending and a hot crowd. Everything was just clicking for them. And you can see that they're actually getting to a point where they are very good dance partners together. So Seth Rollins' influence is wearing off on Bron Breakker. The biggest thing that happened on tonight's show, outside the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments, which we will definitely dive into, we'll pull up the brackets again and kind of assess where we are after the outcomes of tonight's tournament matches, one for the women, one for the men. The biggest thing that happened on tonight's show was, once again, WWE management, WWE creative. I don't want to say belittled. I'm going to use the terminology that Michael Cole used last night at Clash in Italy. Neutered, domesticated Jacob Fatu. I mean, those words describing Jacob Fatu should be a cardinal sin, but WWE Creative is fucking awful, so I'm not really surprised that they use that type of terminology to describe Jacob Fatu. The Bloodline story has absolutely died 1,000 deaths ever since WrestleMania 40. And I know a lot of people somehow, some way, are still into this slop. Somewhere on the social webs, there's a fucking geek who's labeling this as cinema. This is anything but. The fact that WWE, we talked about this last night, was one of the biggest talking points that we made because this is the way the show went off the air. One of the biggest things that WWE has done is continue to revolve their shows around family drama, family bloodline business. Roman beat CM Punk at WrestleMania. He got the band back together, and they're running the same storyline that Roman ran as WWE champion for 1,300 plus days. I kind of figured Roman was going to win the championship if and only if they gave him more money and he agreed to more dates. Clearly, WWE looks at Roman Reigns as a cash cow. Clearly, Nick Khan and TKO management look at Roman Reigns as their biggest star. He's all over these shows. He's in more of a prominent position than Cody Rhodes is, and WWE has made no secret about that. They have let you know time and time and time again who the A player is on this show, and Cody is nothing more than a B+ player by default. He is never going to be able to capture Roman Reigns' star power or Roman Reigns' aura. WWE gave Roman Reigns the World Heavyweight Championship, immediately thrusted him into a feud with Jacob Fatu, which gave us same old shit feeling. With everything else that we've seen with the Bloodline, WWE was running back the Bloodline story literally scene for scene with Jacob Fatu. He's the next of the Samoan dynasty that needs to now fall in line, acknowledge the tribal chief, and serve Roman Reigns. That's exactly what we got tonight. After losing Tribal Combat, Jacob Fatu now serves Roman Reigns. He acknowledged Roman Reigns. He even got on one knee and bowed to Roman Reigns. He then stood behind everybody after snickering with Jey Uso. He stood behind everybody. Everybody else is the twos, and we the ones, as the ones go in the air. I have let my feelings know about this Bloodline slop for, I would say, ever since we came out of WrestleMania. I've let my feelings known. I've made no bones about it. I've been very upfront with you guys. I can't fucking stand this shit. I think this shit is fucking awful. It lacks creative. It's safe. And WWE is pathetic, thinking that they're going to try and rekindle the Bloodline magic that existed when Sami Zayn was there. Folks, I don't know if you're that fucking stupid, or maybe you just are living in denial. I don't know. There are people out there that are so fucking stupid and blind to everything that they're watching that they think that something different is going to present itself in this Bloodline storyline. Chat, you're watching the same thing that they put Sami Zayn through playing out with Jacob Fatu. The only difference is Jacob Fatu's not an honorary Oos. He's actually an Oos. They're going to do the same fucking thing. And to top it off, the story here is, which presented itself at the end of Clash in Italy, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Tola Tonga. They showed face at the end of Clash in Italy, looking at Jacob Fatu as he lost Tribal Combat to Roman Reigns. In the weeks leading up to Tribal Combat, Solo Sikoa has been mentioning that he thinks Jacob Fatu would be better off in the MFTs, back with Solo, instead of going with Roman. Now we have a situation where we're looking at the bloodline, Roman's bloodline, of Jimmy, Jay, and Jacob Fatu, now complete. And we're looking at Solo Sikoa, obviously -1, who he adds to the fray, maybe someone else in the family that we're not thinking of that may make their way over to WWE. Maybe they'll add Royce Keys. I don't give a shit who they fucking add. At the end of the day, you're looking at Roman's bloodline versus Solo's MFTs. Bro, if you're going to surround your television with a feud like that, this television show is dead in the fucking water. Nobody gives a flying fuck at all. What's going to happen next, chat? Jacob Fatu is going to get unruly, and he's going to get out of line, and he's going to start arguing with Jay. Tensions are going to build. Tensions are going to boil over. It's the same fucking shit that you've watched for the last 5 years. Where's the difference in the storyline? Jimmy and Jay are back to serving Roman Reigns. Jay's the instigator. Jimmy's the one who's going to try and make peace and keep everybody's ego in check. Roman Reigns' character has been unchanged ever since he lost to Cody Rhodes. Now, all of a sudden, he comes out and he's revered as a fucking hero. Where's the difference in Roman's character? Why are you cheering him now but booing him then? What's the difference? Then you got Jacob Fatu, who's now a part of the Bloodline family led by Roman Reigns. Gee, man, I wonder what's going to happen. Is this going to be a way to break Jacob Fatu out of the Bloodline so that he turns babyface? Is he going to be the one to break free and realize that Roman's power and ego are way too much and he's abusing everything? This is cinema to you. Bro, you watched all of this transpire in a genuine, organic manner with Sami Zayn, who wasn't even in the family. He was an outsider that the family took in and trusted. Do you genuinely think you're going to play this same scenario out with Jacob Fatu and have it come close to anything Sami Zayn did when he stabbed Roman Reigns in the back with that steel chair several years ago at the Royal Rumble? The answer is no. The answer is fuck no. So I need to ask again for all the people that are watching this cinema with a front row ticket, what is the end goal here? Is the end goal to break Jacob Fatu out as a babyface? Man, it looked like he was doing pretty fucking good to me as a babyface on his own. Did we need to domesticate one of WWE's pillars? Did we need to neuter one of WWE's pillars and belittle him to now fourth-rate bloodline member led by Roman Reigns? What's the next progression of the storyline? A Bloodline versus MFT's feud? Man, I'd love to see the people lining up to watch this fucking cinema. I want a fucking refund. Is the end goal here to turn Roman Reigns heel again? And maybe the Bloodline a heel faction? I don't know what the fuck they are. One week they want to be babyface, the next week they want to be fucking heel. Fans and crowds all over the place are cheering them like they're heroes and babyfaces, but that's not the way they act on a week-to-week basis. I don't know which way they want to swing. What you're watching is a company that has absolutely gone clueless. Maybe Triple H's Chat GPT membership and his free trial expired. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're too cheap to pay for a paid tier subscription to Chat GPT. I don't know. It's the only reason I can come up with for the fact that we're getting the same fucking storyline now, all these years later. Do you remember when Paul Heyman said we were in the third inning only? Bro, we've been in the third inning for 4 years now. I'm going to need something to happen so that we can get through the third inning and onto the fourth. I need something to happen. How do you watch Monday Night Raw and you look at what they did to Jacob Fatu tonight and you find that to be interesting? What is so... I'd love to hear from somebody. What is so interesting? What captivated you about that opening to Monday Night Raw tonight where Jacob Fatu, who is looked at as a future piece of this company, legitimately got down on one knee and praised and bowed to Roman Reigns like he was some Roman emperor in fucking Italy next to Julius Caesar? Does anybody have an answer for me? Or is half this fucking fan base too fucking stupid to see what they're being given and served on a weekly basis? It's fucking slop. You know Roman Reigns is not going to be at Night of Champions, right? They don't have an opponent lined up for him. After tonight, there's 3 weeks to go. You think Roman Reigns is going to be given a nothing opponent going into Night of Champions? I'm sure he'll be there. I'm sure he'll be overseas, as they're touring overseas right now. But Roman Reigns isn't going to have an opponent at Night of Champions, being that his championship is far more valuable now than Cody Rhodes. He's not going to be at Night of Champions in 3 weeks. You people need to wake the fuck up. The fact that Triple H has Sesame Streeted his way into another bloodline angle, the fact that Triple H is hanging his fucking sledgehammer on this family garbage to carry him into next year's WrestleMania, the fact that Triple H doesn't have the vision to take the WWE into the next fiscal year with something new talent, new storylines, something that we haven't seen before, is absolutely fucking... It's not only sad and pathetic, it's worrisome. Clearly, Triple H's vision isn't doing a fucking thing to enhance the WWE product. Triple H has no vision. Triple H has gone blind. Whatever the fuck his vision was, died in NXT Black and Gold. And I'm starting to wonder if that was truly even his vision. This shit sucks. This is awful, awful television. God, I can't wait for CM Punk to get back. And I don't even know where he's going to land, if he's going to come back to Monday Night Raw or he's going to be placed on Friday Night SmackDown. I don't give a fuck where he goes. Get him back on television. Because if this is the shit that we're given on WWE TV, now that we got to see some of the Bloodline on Raw and Solo on SmackDown, and this leads to some weird civil war. Bro, CM Punk is legitimately the last fucking beacon of light that is going to be remotely close to a story that WWE has. I mean, I don't know how people are looking at this and thinking this is good television. Triple H's vision is rehashing what worked then and the fact that they can't get past what worked then. Do you people realize that they feel they could just run the same angle back and find as much success with it in 2026 as they did in 2024? Do you understand that? Do you realize that you're watching these people struggle to tell a story and they can't bring themselves to do anything different or tell us anything new, and that they need to resort to telling a story they've already told? I'm floored that people are that stupid that they don't know that's exactly what's going on. It's shocking. This is a reason why these shows, at the end of all these PLEs, they feel lifeless. This is why after the end of these shows, you're left with nothing. Because they are still operating as if they are in the third inning. And they don't want to speed up the game. They're not listening to the new rules and the new way that baseball is. They're not working with the pitching clock. Man, these people want to stay in the third inning because they think staying in the third inning is going to mean more money for them, and people are going to eat this shit up. Bro, people are getting frustrated. People are leaving. People are disinterested. Nobody's watching the company and nobody's watching these shows because of the same thing that you're giving us. People's attention spans aren't as vast as they were. They want instant satisfaction. You're not going to give them satisfaction with something that already had the ultimate payoff. There is no payoff to this. The ultimate payoff was Cody Rhodes. The ultimate payoff was the bloodline ending. You can't go back and undo everything you did to give us another ultimate payoff and have it fall flat on its face. You've been given a payoff. You've been given a group that's been dominant for 5 years. You've been given a group that now has ended. Their reign of terror has ended. We move on to the next group. The only thing is, the next group is the same group that fucking died. Now, all of a sudden, because they're good guys, it doesn't really mean much. Shit is garbage. Everything about the bloodline is fucking garbage. Am I supposed to believe that Roman now is going to take Jacob Fatu to heights he's never seen before? With what? With what? He's now a henchman. He's now silenced. He's now neutered. He's now domesticated. He's going to be Jimmy's bitch. He's going to be Jay's bitch. He's going to cause carnage and chaos, and he's going to develop an attitude, and he's going to not want to be chained down anymore, and he's going to break free, and it's going to somehow result in this big moment. Brother, we've seen this with Sami Zayn already. Pardon me if I don't give a fuck about Jacob Fatu playing the role of Sami Zayn. We're going to talk about the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments as well. I thought both tournament matches were very good. The men tonight better than the women. Bron Breakker and Seth Rollins. Proper main event on Raw tonight. I thought it was a very good main event with a great ending. And WWE tonight set up Sol Ruca's first championship match as newly crowned Intercontinental Champion. It's basically an open challenge without actually using the verbiage of open challenge. We're going to talk about that tonight and so much more right here on the Monday Night Raw Post Show. This is your Raw Post Show for June 1st, 2026. Tonight, we are sponsored by Ghost VP, Cyber Ghost VPN. Make sure you guys take a look at them. We'll talk about them a little bit later on in the show. I know a lot of people don't want to subscribe to the ESPN Unlimited app. I know you guys don't want anything to do with WWE's partnership on ESPN. So let me help you. Cyber Ghost VPN, tonight's sponsor right here on Off the Scripts, which means you guys can sign up and watch Netflix internationally and get all the WWE PLEs without having to access ESPN. Don't ever tell me I never took care of you guys. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you guys go out and check out all the content on the channel. We got a great week coming up. We're going to start the month of June off strong. I'm live tonight for the Monday Night Raw Post Show. Tomorrow's going to be a busy Tuesday. We're going to talk with Jonathan Coachman tomorrow morning on the 2 Count. We're going to talk about All Clash in Italy, everything that we got from Monday Night Raw, the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. Man, it's going to be a loaded show with the 2 Count. Myself and Jonathan Coachman tomorrow morning on his YouTube channel, Behind the Turnbuckle, BTT Studios, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. And then the nightcap as usual, the main event. There's no show better in the community right now as far as two guys doing their thing. Me and the Solid Monster will be talking everything that you guys want to know about the week that was pro wrestling on Tuesday Night Titans. Episode 149, man. We're so close to episode 150, man. So tune in to Tuesday's festivities. It's going to be a busy Tuesday. Clash in Italy post-show is up. Go and check it out. We're nearing 45,000 views, if not there already. So go and check that out. Really great discussion over there. Really great stream. The level of support you guys showed me last night was through the fucking roof. So thank you guys very much. And if you guys want to support, man, there's a couple of ways to do that. Number one, t-shirts. Make sure you guys go get your new TNT t-shirts. All proceeds go to me and the Monster. Tuesday Night Titans, Best of the Best, now available. Our first in our new retro line. We'll take on Metallica's Ride the Lightning with this one. Tuesday Night Titans, now available on fourthwall.com. Link is down in the description. Click the link. It'll take you right to the storefront. Or if YouTube's working properly, you'll see the storefront right underneath the player that you're watching me from right now, whether that is PC, mobile, iPad. So go and check that out. Super Chats. You guys can support via the Super Chats. Get them on in. We'll hang out at the end of the show as always. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 750 likes right here on the stream. And leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of Monday Night Raw tonight from Torino, Italy, which was a great crowd. Once again, a very lively crowd for Monday Night Raw. And we got to shout him out because he's coming in big. He's coming in hot. My guy, Cam G, with a $100 super chat. What's going on, JD? Clash was good. Raw had some good matches. I'm with you. I'm over this bloodline nonsense. Been there, done that. Absolutely lazy creative. Much love, JD. OTS for life. KMG, thank you, brother. Appreciate you very, very much for being here on this Monday afternoon. And thank you guys for joining me here on this Raw Post Show. Early afternoon for you. As we get into this Monday Night Raw, we're going to go over the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. We start things off with the Bloodline. Jacob Fatu acknowledges Roman Reigns. So Roman Reigns and the rest of the Usos get out of their limousine. Roman Reigns has handed his World Heavyweight Championship. They make their way to the ring. And after several minutes of aura farming their entrance, Roman Reigns gets in the ring, and everybody in Italy was super hot for Roman Reigns. They are acknowledging him big time. All right, Torino, acknowledge me. I've been waiting for this day for a long time because there's no better day than Acknowledgement Day. Jey Uso says, as a matter of fact, OTC, where's Jacob right now? First day on the job, he's already late, Oos. And then he yells out, come on, Jacob. Jacob Fatu makes his way out to the ring. And Jacob Fatu actually got a warm reception from the Italians here live on Raw. Roman immediately says, let's not drag this thing out, Jacob. You know what time it is. Jey Uso, once again being an instigator and a troublemaker. Yeah, you're moving too slow anyway, Jacob. You know what time it is, Us. Jey is being really, really pushy. Because this bothers Jey because he had to go through this same thing and he knows how difficult it was for him to come out on the other end. So I'm assuming this is all tough love, but Jey is really pushing Jacob because he had to go through what Jacob is going to go through right now. So Jacob is eyeing Jey. Roman Reigns tells Jacob, hey, I'm over here. Meaning I'm the one that you need to look at and speak to. Jacob Fatu says, at Tribal Combat, I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew the consequences. I knew the repercussions. Hell, I knew what would happen if I walked out with that title last night. I knew what would happen if I had lost. Hell, I've been taking L's all my life. It ain't nothing new to me. Taking L's my whole life brought me here, standing right here in front of you right now. Speaking of a loss, last night, clash in Italy in front of the whole world, including my children. My children seeing their father being a man take a loss. He keeps his word. And last night, I lost to my tribal chief. But I didn't lose to your punk ass, Jay. But let's keep it 100, Roman. I acknowledge you. He then takes a knee, bows to Roman Reigns, and Roman grabs Jacob by the hand and shakes his hand. Roman pulls him up and says, "You don't understand this right now, Jacob, but I love you." Jimmy Uso then says, "It's now on, Jacob. You're here now. And this is a message to everyone in that locker room, Us. This is a warning shot. They the twos, we the ones." Jacob Fatu fell in line behind all of them and put the ones up with Jimmy, Jay, and Roman. He walked directly behind them and he put the ones up behind them as they walked up the aisleway away from the ring. I don't know where any of this goes. From the surface, this looks like they're running the Sami Zayn storyline just with Jacob Fatu. And that Jacob Fatu is going to go through the trials and tribulations and the hardships. All of this serving Roman Reigns and taking this shit from Jimmy and Jay to serve Roman and serve the Usos. Be belittled, take more L's, because he's going to be the guy that they're going to send to do all of their dirty work. And at one point, he's going to get upset enough to say, "You know what, enough is enough. I'm tired of this shit." To break away. That would mean that Roman needs to be a heel. Are we turning the bloodline heel? Because Jimmy's promo, Jimmy's line at the end of that, he basically said, "This is a message to everyone in the locker room, Us. This is a warning shot." Bro, that's not a babyface. That's a heel. Are they turning the bloodline heel? Because the only way that Jacob Fatu is eventually going to break away from Roman Reigns and have it mean anything is if Roman is a heel. And Jacob needs to be the babyface, leaving the heel faction. Be a babyface, breaking away from the heel's ego and power. Is that the storyline that they're telling? Is Jacob Fatu a mole? Is he really working for someone else? Is he working for Solo? Is he working for someone else in the family? He who shall not be named, because I don't even want to mention his name. I don't want to mention him coming back to television because, for all we know, he's never going to come back to television. Is he working with someone else in the family? Did he talk to somebody else in the family to say, "You know what? Acknowledge Roman, play his game"? Is this leading to Roman and his opponent at WrestleMania? Are we looking at Roman and Dwayne? Are we looking at Roman and Rock? Are we seeing the beginning stages of that for WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia next year? The only way that any of this is going to mean anything is if that man gets back on television, and I don't really think that man is coming back to television anytime soon. So I don't really know what the big deal is here. I don't know what I don't know where this is going. I don't know what story they're trying to convey. I don't. WWE, they have Jacob Fatu in the same situation that we've seen Jimmy, Jay, and Sammy before him. How do they expect people to remain interested? And if they lost interest, how do they expect those people to regain interest? If you're telling them the same story over and over and over again. I just don't know how anybody can bring themselves to care. There's a lot of I don't give a shit about what we saw here in this opening segment. King of the Ring. First quarterfinal match. All the quarterfinal matches are fatal four-ways. We got Penta, Femi, Solo Sikoa, and Carmelo Hayes. Femi and Carmelo Hayes stand out as the two guys that will be the future of the company. The youth movement is alive and well. What WWE does with it, it's going to be up to them how both of these guys succeed. I thought this was a really good match. For the fatal four-way gimmick, I thought this was a really good match. This only went 9 minutes, but I thought this was a really good match. Oba came out, and he got a massive reaction. Everybody else came out. They got their introductions, and Oba came out last. He got a massive reaction. He got to the ring, and he beat up all three guys as they charged at him. His theme music was still playing, and then he did his pose in the middle of the ring. The lights went out, and the spotlight came on Oba. I thought that was a little nice touch. A little different. A little nice touch. So, Penta and Carmelo battled in the ring. Oba was going at it with Solo. I love Penta and Carmelo's back and forth. And I'm watching them go back and forth, and I'm saying to myself, man, I wish this was a one-on-one match, which I'll get into in a second. So Oba's going with Solo on the outside, Penta and Carmelo in the ring. Oba made his way back in the ring, had a stare down with Tala Tonga, who's on the outside, who accompanied Solo Sikoa down to the ring. He gets into the ring, does Oba. He chokeslammed both Carmelo and Penta at the same time, and we go into a commercial break. So we come back from the commercial break. Oba had everybody down. He lifted Hayes and Penta up for a chokeslam. Solo gave him a super kick right to the jaw. Hayes gave Oba a first 48. Oba charged at Penta and Hayes in the corner, but they moved, and Oba ended up crashing shoulder first into the ring post. Oba looked great, taking some actual real-life offense from people who were a lot smaller than he was. See, it's not all that bad if you just slightly humanize the ruler. He doesn't need to look all dominant and just completely dominating. He looks good in there taking some offense, which is going to have to be a thing. So he goes right into the steel post. So he's taken out of it for a little bit. And Tala and Solo threw Oba into the ring post again. There's no DQ, so they can do whatever they want. Tala then kicked Oba over the ringside barricade by the timekeeper's area. Penta at the same time landed a running flip dive over the top rope onto Solo. Carmelo then did a flip dive. He overshot Penta, only grazed Penta on the way down with a tope con hilo. So he threw Penta back into the ring. They climbed to the top rope, or Carmelo climbed to the top rope. He was going for a big move. Penta moved as Carmelo dove off the top rope. He rolled through. Solo's in the ring. He clotheslined Hayes inside out. Penta kicked Solo. Solo hit Penta with a big lariat. Hayes ducked a Samoan spike from Solo and took him down. Penta then gave Hayes a Penta driver. Solo broke up the cover. All three guys were down and slow to get up. And there was this great shot of Oba, who is now emerging from the timekeeper's area. And there was a great camera shot of him in the distance looking at Tala Tonga. So he gets up like the fucking sea creature, rising from the depths. Oba stood and he eyed Tala Tonga. Oba took Tala Tonga down with a big clothesline. He smacked Hayes off the apron with a big chop to the chest. He gave Penta a big spine buster. Oba is running all over the place. He sped to ringside and slammed Tala Tonga onto the announce table. That big shot put throw. He threw Tala Tonga. Oba goes back into the ring after Solo. He gave Solo a big fall from grace. And he slammed Solo down. And that was basically all she wrote. 1, 2, 3. Oba pins Solo Sikoa and advances to the semifinals of the King of the Ring tournament. First of all, I'm not surprised that Oba advanced. I'm not surprised that Oba pinned Solo Sikoa. Much better than pinning Carmelo Hayes. And Penta's the Intercontinental Championship. You don't want to beat him, being that he is basically holding the second most important title on the brand. Oba advances, which we're going to look at the brackets in a little bit. I said this last night on the Clash in Italy post show. I do not like, because it's basically as formulaic as they come for Triple H, I do not like the Fatal 4-Ways in the opening round matches of the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. Now, this only went 9 minutes. This was explosive. It was quick. It was action-packed. And it ended up coming off really good. They did what they could with the 9 minutes that they were given, and it ended up being really good. That doesn't mean this is a concept I want to see continue. All because I don't like it and it ended up being good doesn't automatically make me wrong. A tournament with one-on-one matches is much more beneficial to the talent and much more fun for the fans. And it really gives an added level of prestige to the King of the Ring tournament that isn't really there and hasn't been there for quite some time. Tony Khan overuses the tournament concept, but you can't deny that when the Owen Hart Memorial Cup happens every year, that it feels a lot bigger than any other tournament during the calendar year. Because you have one-on-one matches that lead to consequences. Win, you advance. You lose, you go home. And you win the tournament, and you go to the biggest show of their calendar year, All In, to challenge for the AEW Men's World Title or the AEW Women's World Title. I would have much rather seen a Carmelo Hayes versus a Penta, or a Femi versus a Tola Tonga. WWE only gave us Fatal 4-Ways. And a lot of people, don't really understand this. Well, why did they give us Fatal 4-Ways? They gave us Fatal 4-Ways because WWE's calendar is so overloaded with shows. There's no time to let anything breathe. There's not enough time to do a full-fledged 16-man tournament. So they take 16 men and bunch them up in 4 Fatal 4-Ways. We got done with WrestleMania, which was a 2-night event. We go right into Backlash 3 weeks later. From Backlash, we go into Saturday night's main event 3 weeks later. From Saturday night's main event, we go right into Clash in Italy, literally the following week. Now we have a whole month off. And WWE only has so much time before we get to Saudi Arabia and Night of Champions. The finals will be taking place at Night of Champions. They only have 4 weeks to get through all 4 of these, well, if you count the women, all 8 of these quarterfinal Fatal 4-Ways. And then we get to the semifinals. And then we get to the finals, which will take place at the next PLE. And then right out of Night of Champions, we go right into another Saturday night's main event at Madison Square Garden. And from that, 2 weeks later, we're already at SummerSlam. There are too many shows that do not allow the creative to breathe. There are too many shows where they feel the need to book big matches with no real stories progressing, with no real stories having a true payoff, with no real creative being allowed to just sit there and manifest and marinate, or basically have fun with. How great would this tournament be if we got this entire tournament, men's and women's, taking place over a couple of months? One-on-one matches between the best performers that the WWE has to offer, and then we get the best of the best competing for the shot at SummerSlam for the World's Heavyweight Championship or the WWE Championship. I'm not booking the show, though. And they're going to add more shows and sell more tickets, and they want to make more money, and everything else suffers because of their greed. That's the reason why. That doesn't mean I'm wrong. That doesn't mean because I want it the way that I want that I'm wrong. The way that I want it is the way that many people want it. The way that I want it is the best way for it. 100%. But they don't have time to do that. Which kind of, I don't want to say belittles the king of the ring and the queen of the ring, but it makes it less important. It makes it less prestigious. Because they have to rush through a fucking tournament because they got to get to the finals on June 29th at Night of Champions. Now we're going to look at the tournament here. I got the brackets pulled up. This is the same thing we saw from last night's stream when I covered Clash in Italy. Oba Femi is in the semifinals. Oba Femi will now go one-on-one with the winner of Dominic Mysterio, Bron Breakker, who lost to Seth Rollins tonight in the main event, Trick Williams, or Damian Priest. Now, the one I don't want to see win is Dominic Mysterio. That would be awful. A complete mismatch of Oba and Dominic Mysterio doesn't make a fun match. It makes it overly predictable. Oba, at the end of this match, he took the microphone and mentioned Brock Lesnar. He asked Brock Lesnar if he could take an ass whipping. He said after receiving a beatdown and taking 7 F5s, he's standing and winning. I took your best shot, Brock, and I'm still here, and I will be the king of the ring. Don't you forget, it was 1-1 now. I will see you down the line. Oba won this match because not only was he the right winner from the guys that they paired him up with, it was a nice bounce back win over all of these guys after losing to Brock Lesnar. I genuinely think that Bron Breakker is going to get his win back after losing to Seth Rollins tonight on Monday Night Raw. And I think we're going to get Bron Breakker versus Oba Femi. Trick Williams winning that match is not going to mean much because he's not beating Oba. Why would he beat Oba? I don't really understand why you're putting anybody in the ring with Oba and then having them beat Oba. Oba already lost to Brock. Oba's not going to eat another pinfall after already losing to Brock at Clash in Italy. Plus, you don't want to beat your United States champion, who a lot of people look at right now as the new face of SmackDown. Damian Priest is an easy choice because he's a former world champion. He's a larger guy that could match Oba Femi, but that's also very predictable. I'm going with Bron Breakker, sticking with Bron Breakker, especially after Oba mentioned Brock Lesnar. I think we see Brock Lesnar show up, and I think we see Brock Lesnar fuck over Oba Femi. At the request of Paul Heyman, who will have one of his guys in the semifinals advance to the finals. A Paul Heyman guy helping a Paul Heyman guy, which will then get us Oba and Brock 3, wherever WWE wants to do it, whether it's Night of Champions or at Madison Square Garden. Or maybe we don't wait until Madison Square Garden. We just do it at SummerSlam, and we do something a little bit unpredictable, a little bit fun going into Madison Square Garden, being that they'll probably need a bigger match to really offset that show taking place at Madison Square Garden for Saturday night's main event. I'm sticking with Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker versus Oba Femi, a future WrestleMania match, a future WrestleMania clash. Bron Breakker's going to the finals. Now, there was a rumor going around that WWE removed Ricky Saints from this tournament. That WWE removed Tala Tonga from this tournament. As of tonight, they were still there. I don't know what they're doing, but as of tonight, on the broadcast, they are still in the graphics, so that's what I'm running with. I'm going with Seth Rollins regardless to win his block. I'm going with LA Knight to win his block. I think we're going to get Seth Rollins regardless of who it is in the finals of this tournament. I'm going Rollins and Breakker, and I think Seth Rollins is going to win this tournament and get the title match against Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, because that was supposed to be the World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania, and they're going to run it back at SummerSlam. The original plans called for, before Rollins got hurt, Rollins versus Reigns. Punk versus Cody. Those were the original plans for WrestleMania. This was obviously before Rollins got hurt. Seth Rollins is going to win the King of the Ring tournament. That's what I believe. And yes, I think he's going to have to go through Bron Breakker again. But JD, why is Bron Breakker going to lose to Seth Rollins tonight and then lose to Seth Rollins again at Night of Champions? Bron Breakker, chat, I'm not sure if you're aware. He is now going to take the role of a tag team specialist. He's not being booked as a singles anymore. He's now Austin Theory's tag team partner because Logan Paul is hurt. WWE, I don't know if they're going to replace Bron Breakker with Bronson Reed when he gets back, because Paul Heyman did say that there will be a revolving door of guys to fill in as Austin Theory's tag team partner. Who's to say that Bron Breakker can't be removed from that spot, go back to being a single when Bronson Reed comes back? There was also a rumor that WWE may be adding more members to the Vision, whoever that may be. We talked about this on Tuesday. Solomon Monster had a great idea about putting Grayson Waller in the Vision and getting Grayson Waller and Austin Theory back as a tag team. At least at that point, there'd be some conclusion as to why they split up in the first place. Being that the New Day's not there and Grayson Waller doesn't have Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston anymore to ride the coattails of, why don't they add him to the Vision and get the original tag team that they had that they did nothing with back together, at least doing something together, while leaving Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker to do their things individually? I don't know what their plans are, but right now he's a tag team specialist. And I think Bron Breakker is going to act as a tag team specialist, which means Seth Rollins is going to win the King of the Ring. That's my opinion. Why can't he be a hybrid? You know, Adrian, I ask that question all the time. I don't know. WWE seemingly thinks that when they're in a tag team, they can't break out and also be a singles wrestler. I don't get it. I don't really understand it. It's so fucking stupid to think that you got a singles guy acting as a tag team guy, but when he gets in a tag team element, he's only got to do tag team wrestling. He can't wrestle singles anymore. Like, I don't really understand that. He can also work singles matches while holding the tag team championship. The entire company's a fucking mess. I'm sticking with that. Clearly, they can go and give Oba the championship or the King of the Ring and then have him get the championship match against Roman Reigns. Clearly, that was something that fans wanted coming out of WrestleMania when Oba beat Brock. I don't think that they're going to do that. The clue is there within. He's already mentioned again Brock Lesnar. I'll see you down the line. I'm sure you will. And you're going to get a third match out of it because he's got to get his win back, which means he's not going to be challenging for a World Heavyweight Championship if Brock Lesnar is the plan for Oba Femi and a third match is on the horizon. This is why I say we're going with Seth Rollins. All in all, this was a fun match. I wish it would have went longer. 9 minutes. King of the Ring matches should not be going 9 minutes. Sol Ruca. She made her way out to ringside. She's interviewed by Kathy Kelly. Sol Ruca's out there. As Kathy Kelly asked, did you ever think that less than a month after officially joining Monday Night Raw, that you would be standing here in the middle of the ring as Intercontinental Champion? So Kathy asks this question, Sol Ruca being revered by this Italian crowd. Kathy, this has been a dream come true. I believe that I could be a champion, but most importantly, all of you believed in me too. She sounded a little like Liv Morgan, over-accentuating her words. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And honestly, props to Becky Lynch. I know that she was against this match in the first place. I know she thought I wasn't ready, but she still came out here and gave me the chance to test myself against the very best, and I proved her wrong. And it's not just me saying it, everyone's saying it. But as tough as it was to beat Becky Lynch, my work here is just getting started. This title deserves a fighting champion. You all deserve a fighting champion, and that's exactly what I'm going to be. But if you think that I'm just some rookie, or if you underestimate me like Becky did, well, at this point, I think we all know how that's going to end. Your soul will be mine, and we will hear the exact words we heard last night. Sol Ruca, the Intercontinental Champion. She's got to work on her promo. She sounded a little bit too much like Liv Morgan for my liking. We don't need her to sound like Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan's not really a good promo in herself. But she's going to be a fighting champion. Why does every babyface that wins a championship, this is something. I am so over the typical this generation pro wrestling trope. Open challenges, baby faces having these title runs where I want to be a fighting champion. Motherfucker, you can be a fighting champion all you want, but being a fighting champion means that you have a low-level IQ. If you defend the championship against any comer and all comers, that means you have a greater probability of losing the championship and a greater probability of getting injured. Why do you want to risk all of that and be stupid to put the championship on the line against everybody? And people don't deserve a championship match. Why are you putting the championship on the line against people that don't deserve a championship match and have done nothing to earn one, just to prove to these dumb people that you are a fighting champion? This is the level of WWE creative. Instead of coming up with a solid story between one woman who wants the Intercontinental Championship and developing dialogue and maybe making competitive matches to a point where people actually earn a shot at Sol Ruca, we're going to line up the first babyface that we see because Sol Ruca wants to be a fighting champion. I find that to be boring. It's lazy. It's fucking lazy. Becky Lynch is in the Queen of the Ring tournament. She's in Liv Morgan's Fatal 4-Way. I think Becky Lynch is going to advance to the semifinals, which we will talk about a little bit later as we go over tonight's Fatal 4-Way. Roman Reigns is in the back. They showed a clip of Roman Reigns running into Cody Rhodes after Clash in Italy, as Cody was either going to the post-show or coming back from the post-show. They stared at each other as Roman came out of his dressing room. No words were exchanged, and they just gave each other a very nasty stare. WWE made a purpose to show this clip on Monday Night Raw tonight. For what reason? Are we now going to include Cody Rhodes in the family bloodline drama? Is WWE already planting seeds for Crown Jewel in October, where Cody Rhodes will be the WWE champion and Roman Reigns will be the World Heavyweight champion? Because you know it's got to be champion versus champion for the elusive and prestigious Crown Jewel championships. So Roman Reigns is watching this in his dressing room on the TV that's there. I'll address Cody Rhodes. I'll see him later, he says. Roman tells Jay that he needs to stay on Jacob's ass because he's the only one that understands the tough love. And that's what Jacob needs to understand. Matter of fact, I'm going to need you to go win the King of the Ring tournament. I'm going to need you to win the other title, the WWE Championship. Go to SummerSlam, win the tournament, and take that title and bring it back to the family. Never forget that there are two ends of the table. Roman needs Jay to level up. Jimmy walks with Jay, and then Roman says, Big Jim, I need you to stay with me. Jay needs to do this on his own. they made it seem like this match was coming up next. Where was Jay going that Jimmy needed to stay with Roman? What did Jay need to do that he needed to do on his own? Maybe he went to go drink some limoncello at the nearest establishment. I don't know. What did he need to do in this moment, on this night, that Jimmy couldn't follow? I love me a good limoncello. Tag team match here. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee against Ethan Page and the mighty Rusev. This was a fun tag team match. This went 12 minutes. This went longer than the King of the Ring quarterfinal match that we had earlier with Femi winning. Ethan Page has done excellent work since getting called up to the main roster. Dragon Lee, nice to see him back on the show. And Rey Mysterio, they're positioning him as the next in line to challenge Penta for the Intercontinental Championship. So we'll pick it up after the break here. And Rusev slams Dragon Lee down. We go into a commercial break. And we come back from the break. Rusev and Ethan Page had Dragon Lee in their part of the ring. He was in the wrong part of town. Dragon Lee ducked Rusev. He tumbled over the top rope to the floor. Dragon Lee crawled over the Rey Mysterio for the tag. Ethan Page yanked on his boot, pulled him back into his corner. Rusev tagged in, and he says, "Not today, not today." They're beating up on Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee eventually breaks free. He gets the hot tag to Rey Mysterio. Fans go crazy. Big move off the top rope to Ethan Page. Springboard body press for a 2 count on Ethan Page. He took a shot at Rusev. Rusev tried to go at Mysterio. Ethan then took another shot, and he eventually takes Rey down. Rusev tripped Rey up, running the ropes. Dragon Lee kicked Rusev. Ethan Page shoved Rey into Dragon Lee, and he tried to score a near fall on Rey Mysterio, only got a 2 count. Ethan then takes Rey Mysterio, who did the tilt-a-whirl, and he dragged him into a Boston Crab right in the middle of the ring. Dragon Lee breaks up the hold. Dragon Lee knocked Rusev out of the ring and then dove through the ropes and tackled Rusev. Rey kicked Ethan Page into a 619 position. He nails it. He then drops the big splash. 1, 2, 3, and Ethan Page is pinned by Rey Mysterio. This was good. This was good. Well, why did Ethan Page need to get the pin here, JD? Well, Rey Mysterio's already been confirmed as the next challenger for the Intercontinental Championship. So him beating Ethan Page makes that decision basically official, because Ethan Page wants the IC title as well. That ensures Ethan Page stays where he is in line. He's going to get his, don't worry. Now, when this match takes place, I don't know. Adam Page goes on about he needs to talk to people. He's making it happen. He's getting the contract doctored up, and he's going to make it happen. I'm assuming this is going to take place at Night of Champions. This is the only place for it to take place. So I think that's the right place to do it. Night of Champions. You can't have a show called Night of Champions without the Intercontinental Champion defending his championship. And if you're going to do that match, it needs to take place there. So WWE is going to do whatever they can to stall on getting this match any earlier, and that's where they're going to do it. Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio win in 12 minutes. Backstage, like I said, Adam Pearce. He's talking to Penta. Pearce knows that Penta wants to put his IC title on the line against Rey Mysterio, and the WWE Universe also wants to see it. So he's going to make that match official. LA Knight. He interrupts Adam Pearce talking to Penta. LA Knight tells Pearce, "Don't go anywhere." He pokes fun at the Bloodline. LA Knight is upset at Pearce for making house calls to Roman Reigns' locker room. Knight asked Adam Pearce if he's feeling oozy. So not only is WWE bringing back the same storyline that the Bloodline did all these years, now with Jacob Fatu taking the place of Sami Zayn, now they got LA Knight using the term oozy. So we're also bringing oozy back, thinking that it's going to hit like it did when Sami Zayn made Jimmy and Jay break character and Roman break character. This company hasn't gotten a fucking clue. Did you laugh at LA Knight using oozy to Adam Pearce? I know I did. I rolled my eyes. It doesn't hit the same. Since Adam Pearce wants to run the clock back on the Bloodline, maybe we should get him an honorary Oos t-shirt. LA Knight is basically telling you exactly what we're all thinking. Just throwing that out there. This is a low-key shoot by LA Knight. He's got to take his anger out on somebody. Maybe I should head to the merchandise stand and get you an Oofalafa, he says. Do they even sell them? Do they sell Ulafalas on WWE Shop? I wouldn't be surprised. LA Knight says that if Adam Pearce continues to do favors for the Bloodline, maybe Roman will bring him in as part of the family. Adam Pearce says that he was having a conversation with the World Heavyweight Champion ahead of a World Heavyweight Championship match, which is nobody's business besides me and Roman. LA Knight says that Adam Pearce is giving him energy that he's never given to Roman Reigns. If Pearce wants to bow up to Knight, he'll put him out of retirement just to put him out, or bring him out of retirement just to put him back in. So he says to Adam Pearce, he wants to bring Adam Pearce out of retirement, beat him up, and then put him back into retirement. I don't think we need to see that. The bottom line is, it seems like the only person Adam Pearce wants to be World Heavyweight Champion is Roman Reigns. It's not Jacob Fatu, and it's certainly not LA Knight. Adam Pearce says that Jacob Fatu is a liability. And LA Knight is going to believe whatever LA Knight wants to believe. But here's the bottom line. LA Knight thinks Adam Pearce is playing favorites and that he wants to bring the Bloodline back together. That's not the case. I'm trying to keep family blood in line. LA Knight makes Adam Pearce throw the one up in the sky because he's waving his finger around at LA Knight. So LA Knight stops him and says, what? And then he takes Adam Pearce's hand and makes him make the one. LA Knight says Adam Pearce makes him sick. And he walks away. Again, I don't know where this really goes. I don't have a clear direction for LA Knight after this promo. I know he's in the King of the Ring. I know he's in there with Finn Balor. Who is he in there with? He's in there with, let's see the bracket. He's in there with Royce Keys, Jey Uso, and Finn Balor, who, by the way, was traded to SmackDown. Yes, Finn Balor was traded to SmackDown, and we don't know for whom he was traded. But another WWE storyline that seemingly WWE dropped. Remember when Finn Balor was trying to convince Roxanne Perez that Liv Morgan was bad news and that Liv Morgan only cares for Liv Morgan and cares for nobody else? Yeah, they dropped yet another Judgment Day angle. Now, I'm trying to look at it in a positive way. I don't think Roxanne Perez needs Finn Balor. But moving Finn Balor away from the Judgment Day vortex is probably best for Finn Balor. Speaking of the Judgment Day, Io Sky, Roxanne Perez, Giulia, and Lash Legend. Quarterfinal, first round match in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Roxanne, Io, Giulia got a great reaction in Italy. This is the most animated and charismatic I've seen Giulia. Giulia was genuinely happy to be where she was. And she looks great. I love Giulia with the new hairstyle. I don't know if you guys noticed, Giulia straightened her hair and no more braids in Giulia's hair. I thought she looked great. This was the best presentation that I've seen of Giulia so far in the WWE on the main roster. And then we had Lash Legend. who I don't think anybody here cares for. Now, out of all these names, I know people were heartfelt on Giulia winning this because it was Italy. I know you guys mean well, and I know you guys want the best, but Giulia was never pegged to win this match. Giulia was never advancing in the Queen of the Ring tournament. She was merely used as a hometown pop. That was basically it. I'm just glad that WWE Creative realized that Giulia is half Italian and put her on the show that they had in Turin, Italy, today. This was good. I mean, this was nothing special, but this was good. I really wish they would have pinned somebody else here, but this is WWE after all. Giulia was caught by Lash legend. Sky hits a drop kick, took her down. Perez takes Sky from behind and beats her up from behind with punches. Io got sent out of the ring by Roxanne. Lash legend comes back in, took her out. Giulia, she applies a guillotine on Lash legend, and she was placed on the top turnbuckle. So Legend held Sky and Perez, but a drop kick from the top rope by Giulia took everybody down, and we go into a commercial break with the hometown favorite in Giulia in control. We come back from the commercial. Giulia and Roxanne Perez drive Lash Legend into the steel steps on the outside. And we had Giulia hitting a drop kick on Lash Legend. Perez and Giulia, they had a very small, brief, momentary alliance. But Roxanne, she takes over here and says, fuck that. In the ring, Roxanne hits a shotgun, or was hit with a shotgun drop kick by Io. And Io starts to pick up the pace here. Another drop kick from Io as Giulia joined in. Double missile drop kick by Io. That was followed by her Io pointing of the fingers. Roxanne Perez and Giulia, they were in the corner as Io hit Bullet Train on both of them. Lash Legend, who was on the outside, comes back in. She got hit with a double stomp from Io. The Arrivederci knee by Giulia to Lash Legend. Roxanne Perez broke up the count as Giulia went for the pin. Perez then got Giulia and Io with a double DDT. We're back in the corner. Perez tries for Pop Rocks. That was stopped by Io. She goes up top looking for over the moonsault. Giulia, she gets in there. Double underhooks Io. Perez recovered. She gets back in there. This led to the very stereotypical multi-person spot where they have to do the avalanche powerbomb off the top rope, which was conducted here by Lash Legend. So Lash is in control. She dishes out Lash extensions to Giulia and Roxanne Perez. Io, she broke up a pinfall by Lash Legend, and then she eventually took Lash Legend out of the match. She rolls out of the ring. Io goes up top. She hits over the moonsault on Giulia for the 1, 2, 3. Io advances. Io goes to the semifinals, and she defeats Roxanne Perez, Lash Legend, and Giulia. You know, I knew Giulia wasn't going to win the match, but did we really need to pin Giulia in Italy? We couldn't have pinned Roxanne or maybe better off pinning Lash Legend? Like, I don't understand why we need to pin the hometown woman who wasn't on the pay-per-view, has not been in anything important, but here she is on Monday Night Raw wrestling in front of her friends and family, and you got to pin her in Italy? The one Italian in the match. You got to pin the one Italian in the match. I'm not sure who made that decision and why you thought that was a good one. So fucking stupid. But I guess it goes to show you how little they care about Giulia. Now, on the Giulia topic, I would absolutely move her to Monday Night Raw. If you want to conduct a trade and you want to move Finn Balor over to SmackDown and take someone from SmackDown, I would just put Giulia on Monday Night Raw. I thought she fit in with these women a lot better than what she's doing on SmackDown. SmackDown, she dies 1,000 deaths. Even though that women's division is stacked and loaded, and they're gonna continue to get even better because Blake Monroe's coming in. They got Jordan Grace sitting in catering doing God knows fucking what. That women's division is stacked. I think you could benefit the Raw women's division, which right now doesn't have a lot going on for it. They just added Fatal Influence over there as well. I would just say, you know what? Balor moved to SmackDown. We're moving Giulia to Monday Night Raw. She doesn't need anything from Friday night. I think Monday Night Raw could absolutely benefit from Giulia. I think there's a lot that she could do on Monday Night Raw and maybe kind of reinvent herself. I think she needs a new change of scenery. So I'm hoping WWE explains why Balor got moved and who he was traded for. I think Giulia would be a great candidate for that trade. And I think it's a good trade one-up. SmackDown's getting Finn Balor where they need guys like that towards the upper mid-card, main event level. And then you get Giulia, who could absolutely benefit from a move to Monday Night Raw, as well as the Monday Night Raw Monday Night Raw women's division benefiting from moving Giulia. That's what I would do. Now, as far as the women's Queen of the Ring, I have the graphics pulled up here. We had Io advance. She's in the semifinals. She will meet the winner of Bayley, Roxanne Perez, or Bayley, Raquel Rodriguez. I'm sorry. Bayley, Raquel Rodriguez, JC Jane, and Kiana James. Now, Bayley's not winning. Raquel Rodriguez is not winning. And Kiana James is not winning. I think we're going to get JC Jane. JC Jane's going to win that. And I could be wrong. They could give it to Raquel. So they have at least another Judgment Day woman advancing. But I don't really care to see Io and Raquel, even though they had something going on before WrestleMania. I'm going JC Jane. I think that's the safe bet here. Io and JC Jane, in my opinion, would be a better match. And JC just made it to the main roster. I think her wrestling Io falls in line with her wrestling Rhea and getting in the ring with Charlotte. So they're very high on JC Jane. So why not just keep that going and get her in there with Io? I think it'll end up being a better match. So I'm going Io and JC Jane. On the left side here, Liv Morgan's in the tournament. I've seen people making this a big topic of discussion. And Liv Morgan apparently explained why she is in the Queen of the Ring tournament. No matter what they do or what they say, no matter what Liv Morgan says, nothing Liv Morgan says will make sense as to why she is in the Queen of the Ring tournament. She doesn't belong there. The tournament has been put together to find Liv Morgan an opponent, to find Rhea Ripley an opponent. You don't need to be in the tournament. If you're Liv Morgan, why would you want to be in the tournament? To win the tournament, to challenge Rhea Ripley? You want another belt. I don't believe that's the reason. You have a belt. You're the leader of your brand. You're the leader of your division. Why do you want to wrestle in a tournament that doesn't require your services? Oh, but JD, we have champions in the tournament. Why don't you say anything about Penta or Trick Williams in the tournament, JD? Trick Williams is the United States champion, geek. Penta is the Intercontinental champion, geek. Neither one of them are world champions. I don't understand why that's so difficult for people to grasp. I think Becky Lynch is advancing here. I think Chelsea Green is getting the pinfall. She's the odd woman out here. Chelsea Green is not advancing in the Queen of the Ring. I genuinely think we see Stephanie Vaquer come back. I think she gets her revenge on Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan finally puts the belt on the line against Stephanie Vaquer going into Night of Champions. Because she can't have Night of Champions without Liv Morgan defending the Women's World Championship. And I think Stephanie Vaquer is due back any week now. So I think that's what they do. I think Becky Lynch advances. On the other side of that, we got Sol Ruca, Lyra Valkyria, who apparently they put those two women in an Intercontinental Championship match. For what reason, I don't know, when they're in the same fatal four-way to see who advances in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Sol Ruca, Lyra, Charlotte Flair, and Jade Cargill. I'm going with Charlotte Flair. I think Charlotte Flair wins this, and I think we get Becky and Charlotte. Now you're going to be looking at Becky, Charlotte, Io and JC Jane. This creates a very interesting situation. Because if you look at the SmackDown side of things, as far as where they're going with the storyline, you could be looking at Charlotte versus Jade at SummerSlam. That's where they could be going. Do they do Charlotte versus Rhea at SummerSlam? I wouldn't mind that, being that they have one of the greatest women's matches in WWE history at WrestleMania a few years ago. But if you do that, where does that leave Jade? Where does that leave Jade on SummerSlam? So this is what I'm proposing. Instead of doing Rhea and Charlotte, I think we do Becky versus Charlotte, Io versus JC. I think we go Charlotte versus Io or Becky versus Io. I think with the situation that we're seeing right now develop, I think we get Becky advancing to the finals, and I think we get Becky, who's a heel, against Io as a babyface. And I think Io wins the Queen of the Ring tournament, and I think we get Io doing whatever you want to do. I mean, she can challenge. I don't know what it is. Is it a situation? This is where I'm going to need your guys' help, because I'm thinking Fantasyland. I'm stuck on Io versus Rhea. Now, the winner of the tournament gets a shot at your brand's world championship, or is it a championship match of your choosing? Because if it's a championship of your choosing, I don't know why they don't go with Io and Rhea. If it's got to be on your brand, it's got to be brand specific, then I'm going Charlotte, because that's the only thing that makes sense. So I'll wait for you guys in the chat to see where it is. Io versus Liv, I could see that. Is anybody interested in that? Is anybody interested in that? It's brand. Okay, so I'm going to go. Listen, Liv needs an opponent. I could see Liv versus Io. I could really see that. Maybe they set up Rhea's opponent to be Blake Monroe. There'll be 2 months. She's already come out and made desires to go after Rhea Ripley. Maybe they do that. Maybe it's JC Jane. They can go either which way there. Because I do think that Charlotte and Jade are building towards a big one-on-one match, and I think if you do Charlotte versus Rhea, that's going to leave Jade out of SummerSlam, and I'm not sure WWE wants to leave Jade out of SummerSlam. So I think the safest bet here is either Rhea Blake or Rhea JC, Charlotte versus Jade, and then we do Io versus Liv. That's a possibility. I would love to see Io versus Rhea. I mean, that just sells itself. But WWE could easily do that going into Crown Jewel. If Io wins the championship and she beats Liv Morgan, she'll be the women's championship going into the women's champion going into the fall. And then we have Crown Jewel, wherever that takes place. Rhea is going to still be the champion. Io will be the champion of her brand. And we get Io versus Rhea. Can you imagine Crown Jewel ending up being Rhea, Io, Cody, Roman? Man, that'll be a banger fucking show right there with those 2 top championship matches. Yeah, I'm sticking with that. I'm going for SummerSlam specifically. Charlotte, Jade, Rhea versus Blake, Rhea versus JC, one or the other. And then I'm going Io versus Liv. That's what I'm going with for SummerSlam. Either way you want to do it, I see Io Sky winning this tournament. I think this tournament's going to be served as a make good for Io Sky not getting a WrestleMania match and not getting a payoff with Asuka, with Kairi Sane. We'll see what happens. Maxine Dupree. She was backstage with the Alpha Academy. Now, I don't know what they're doing here with Maxine and why it means anything. But Adam Pearce is talking to the Alpha Academy backstage. Maxine says that she doesn't want to be disrespectful, but she was surprised to see her name left off the Queen of the Ring. Pierce says that this year's Queen of the Ring is stacked, so he made some tough decisions. It's nothing personal to Maxine, and he wants to know, or let Maxine know, that he thinks highly of her. Maxine says that Pierce overlooked her again. Pierce says that if anything comes up, you'll be the first at the top of the list, with Sol Ruca being the new IC champion. We'll see if we can get your rematch. So Maxine says, thank you. Otis asked Maxine if she's all right. Maxine aggressively answers in this very defensive tone. I'm fine. Otis says that they've always had Maxine's back, but they've noticed that she's been hanging out more with Austin Theory, and they feel like Austin Theory's bad news. Maxine says she knows what she's doing. The Alpha Academy might not understand it right now, but they just need to trust her on this. I don't know where this goes or why I should care about Maxine Dupree eventually joining the Vision. Your guess is as good as mine, chat. Kathy Kelly had a backstage interview with Bayley and Lyra Valkyria ahead of them being in the Queen of the Ring tournament. What happens if they cross paths in the Queen of the Ring tournament? Bayley says they need not to worry about that right now. Last week, they beat the Judgment Day, and they are in line for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Bayley says they can do both at the same time. Why does Bayley get this and WWE Creative does not? She's never been in the Queen of the Ring tournament, and she wants to very much compete in the Queen of the Ring tournament. And Lyra, her tag team partner, made it to the finals of this tournament. So Lyra sees something in the distance. She leaves Bayley and this interview with Kathy Kelly to go talk to Sol Ruca. Lyra wishes Sol Ruca the best. Congratulations. Lyra hopes that Sol heard everything the crowd had to say because Sol Ruca truly deserves it. She said she's so glad that Sol came along and finally ended Becky's reign of terror. Sol hopes that she can do right by this title just like Lyra did, since she mentioned that Sol would be honored to defend the title against the first person to ever hold it. I'm glad that they actually remembered that Lyra, as long as Becky was the champion, could not challenge for the championship. Now they kind of did away with that because Becky's not the champion anymore. So Lyra wants a first crack at Sol Ruca. Bayley reminded Lyra, we were doing an interview. Why did you lose focus? Lyra got very over the top about getting a women's IC title championship match, and Bayley looked very confused. Lyra's head is not in the game. Lyra's head is not with the team. Lyra's head is about winning championships on her own. I don't know. Remember when Bayley was turning heel? Remember when Bayley was going through that split personality? How they dropped that all of a sudden? I don't know, man. Triple H, the master of dropping storylines. Next week on Raw, first round continues for the King and Queen of the Ring. Paris, France. On the men's side, Seth, Javon, Ricky, and Tolatonga. This was advertised on the show. Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, and Chelsea Green will be the Queen of the Ring quarterfinal. We go to the Judgment Day Clubhouse. Roxanne Perez is upset about losing her Queen of the Ring first round match. Liv joins the conversation. Liv says that she got her head fitted for the crown. It's going to look so good on her. Raquel tells Liv, read the room. Roxanne is very upset about losing, and Liv couldn't give a single shit. Liv knows it's been a rough couple of weeks, but they're still family, and that's what matters most. Well, Roxanne says, hey, I could have had my family out there to help me. But what's Liv's plan? Liv says the Judgment Day doesn't pout when they miss opportunities. They take opportunities. Liv says that her and Daddy Dom, or Raquel Rodriguez, are going to win both tournaments because the Judgment Day runs Monday Night Raw. Liv tells Roxanne not to be upset because Liv is very proud of Roxanne Perez. Bro, the Judgment Day is as good as dead. It's a dead faction. It doesn't mean shit anymore. I don't know what WWE's got to do to resuscitate or heat up the Judgment Day faction. The whole thing about Roxanne is going to eventually play out where she sees Liv Morgan is all about Liv Morgan. And Roxanne Perez this is the story that I hope that they tell. Roxanne Perez will eventually go on to win Money in the Bank, and she will cast that doubt over Liv Morgan, who has the Money in the Bank briefcase. And she will become the new women's world champion. I could see that taking place. Now, it all depends on if they take the belt off of Liv Morgan and put it on Io. They could easily go Io, Rhea at Crown Jewel. They could go Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley at Crown Jewel. I don't know where they go, but I think Roxanne Perez winning the Money in the Bank is a great start for Roxanne Perez distancing herself from the Judgment Day. You Roxy fanatics out there, you got a couple of months to wait on that. But I think that's the best course of action here. But the Judgment Day is as dead as anything. It's a lifeless faction. And Dominic Mysterio has done nothing in the time that he's won the AAA Mega Championship. He's taken such a backseat role on the show after being featured all over the place. Dominic Mysterio means nothing to the Judgment Day or to Monday Night Raw. At all. Main event. Seth Rollins versus Bron Breakker. This was a great main event, and I'm just glad we got a proper main event here. This went 22 minutes. Bro, this got 10 minutes more than Cody Rhodes and Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, the WWE Championship, to open Clash in Italy. Can anybody please tell me why Gunther and Cody only got 12 minutes? Jade and Rhea got 18 minutes. This got 22 minutes. Rollins and Breakker got 22 minutes. I don't think this company knows what they do on a day-to-day basis. Seth Rollins was incredibly over here. I mean, the fans, they did not let up fucking singing along to Seth Rollins' theme song. Bron Breakker took control very early here. Released German suplex. Seth ducked Bron Breakker as he charged in. Clotheslined him over the top rope. Suicide dive through the ropes. Rollins has a terrible looking suicide dive. There's legitimately no impact at all. It's like a Jon Moxley suicide dive, a WWE Jon Moxley suicide dive. It's awful. Seth Rollins should just eliminate the suicide dive from his arsenal. It's awful. There's no impact on it whatsoever. People just do it because it looks cool. Meanwhile, it doesn't really, if you take it away from the match, nobody will even notice. It makes zero difference to the overall match quality. He did it again. He knocked Breakker down a second time. Breakker came back. He tossed Seth over the barricade. And they cut to a break here with Italy barking at Bron Breakker. I believe there was even a chant of who let the dogs out, and people were barking. Breakker took over during the commercial break. He ran around ringside and took Seth down with a flying elbow. He usually does a spear in that spot, but he decided to do a leaping elbow. Bron Breakker clears the Italian announce table, and then he clears the English announce table. Seth delivered, I don't know what this was. Bron Breakker was on the Italian announce table. He tried to jump at Seth, who was on the American announce table, and Seth caught a leaping Bron Breakker with a pedigree through the American announce table. It looked great, and fans popped big with a holy shit chant. So they start singing Seth's song. Seth took Breakker down with a clothesline in the ring for a 2 count. Seth went up top. Breakker knocked him off balance on the top rope. He then gave Seth a top rope. I love that. Corey Graves called this the Breakensteiner. I love that. That was great. Top rope Frankensteiner. He nailed it perfectly. Near fall, only a 2 count. Breakker then leapt off the ring apron as Seth leapt off the announce desk. He was going to do that spot where he does that leaping elbow from the apron to the announce desk and he drives his opponent through the announce table. Seth Rollins jumped on the announce table and met Bron Breakker midair while he jumped from the apron with a spear. Took him down. So at ringside, Breakker went for another big move. He gets caught. Pedigree. Breakker back in the ring. Rollins delivered another pedigree. Kick out. Bron Breakker kicked out at a 2. Austin Theory came out, Seth yanked him into the ring and then knocked him out of the ring. Breakker charged. Seth sidestepped him. Seth then stomped away at Breakker. Theory hit Seth in the head with the belt as Heyman was distracting the referee. Montez Ford ran out and he flip dove over the top turnbuckle like he usually does onto Austin Theory. He grazed him. He almost overshot him as well. Breakker then speared Ford on the outside and took him out. Breakker then got in the ring and speared Seth for a 2 count. Seth kicked Breakker. Breakker charged at him. Seth landed a stomp. Seth tried to roll out of the ring, but Heyman put Breakker's boot under the bottom rope to break the count. Heyman then pointed that out to the referee. Seth eyed Heyman. Heyman started smiling like a dick at Seth Rollins. Seth got angry. He went out to ringside. He tried to confront Paul Heyman, who kept talking shit to Seth Rollins. Heyman told Seth he had no respect for him over and over again. Breakker charged at Seth. He did that big running spear on the outside. But the thing is, Seth moved and Bron Breakker accidentally crossed paths with Paul Heyman, and he speared Paul Heyman through the ringside timekeeper's barricade. Breakker looked at the damage done. He was shocked that he did it to Paul Heyman. This made him more angry. Fans chanted, "Holy shit." Breakker got in the ring super angry. He speared Seth. But at this point, and this was fucking awesome, while Breakker was looking at the damage he accidentally did to Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins took Bron Breakker's one half of the tag team championships and held it. And he hugged it. He was holding it tight to his chest. Bron Breakker went for a spear. Seth turned around. Bron Breakker speared Seth Rollins, but he accidentally speared the title and knocked himself out. So this was all done as a master plan by Seth Rollins. This is the reason why they call him the architect. 1, 2, 3. Bron Breakker loses after he spears himself into the tag team title. Seth Rollins delivers a stomp for added measure. 1, 2, 3. Michael Cole with a great call. What a win. What a match. What a show. Seth Rollins wins in 22 minutes. Seth's music played. He points over to Montez Ford, who's standing there. He sees that Montez came out to help him. Apparently, they put their differences aside, and the show ended with Seth Rollins just taking in all the energy from Italy as they chanted his song and sang his song. This was by far the better of the 2 matches they've had. They had one at Backlash. They had one here on Raw. This was the better of the 2 matches. I do think that we will get a third match, and I predict that third match will be the final of the King of the Ring tournament in Saudi Arabia at Night of Champions, and Seth will be the new King of the Ring. And Seth Rollins will get the World Heavyweight Championship match against Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. At the end of this match, he already made motion that he wants the championship title. And he even pointed the ones up in the air. You know he's coming for Roman. Roman right now doesn't have any top challengers. Seth is the next in line. I thought this was a very good episode of Monday Night Raw. I thought they made the show feel important with the King and Queen of the Ring. I thought the main event, we got a proper main event. That's a positive. 22 minutes. Felt like a main event. Came off like a main event. We had a crowd worthy of a main event. We got a proper main event and not some fucking stupid closing segment with a contract signing or a Samoan going through a table or some fucking bloodline drama. We got a main event that set up Seth Rollins to procure his way into the King of the Ring final. And I think we will see these two meet again in Saudi Arabia at Night of Champions. And Monday Night Raw with the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring was given a little bit more of an important feel because there were consequences. You lose, you go home. You win, you advance. I'm not a fan of the Fatal 4-Way concept for the King of the Ring. I prefer a more traditional one-on-one tournament concept. But I thought what they did tonight was very good, and we got a great main event. Thank you guys very much for all your support, man. We're going to get into the super chats here in just a moment. Again, I want to shout out my sponsor for tonight's show. We are sponsored by CyberGhost VPN. If you guys want to take advantage of watching these WWE shows, I hooked you up with something that I know a lot of you guys can benefit from. So tonight, we are sponsored by our great friends over at CyberGhost VPN. You know what WWE has taught me over the years? Never trust anyone. That's why today's stream is sponsored by CyberGhost VPN. Managers spying on talent, wrestlers recording conversations, contracts getting stolen, security footage mysteriously leaking every Monday night. At this point, the WWE locker room have less privacy than public Wi-Fi at an airport. And honestly, online, it's not that much different. Everybody's tracking you. Your internet provider, websites, apps, random companies you've never even heard of. Meanwhile, people think that incognito mode actually protects them. Brother, let me tell you something. Incognito mode protects you as well as WWE security protecting a contract signing for a big championship match at a PLE. CyberGhost encrypts and reroutes 100% of your internet traffic through secure servers in over 100 countries, so nobody can track what you're doing online. And it's ridiculously easy to use. One click, turn it on, and you're protected. Plus, this thing is great for streaming. You can unlock libraries from over 40 different streaming platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, and more just by changing your virtual location. So if you're tired of seeing this content is unavailable in your country, CyberGhost's basically the international forbidden door. It works on Windows, Mac, Android, iPhone, even smart TVs and consoles, and you can protect up to 7 devices at once. So yes, you can share it with family members, friends, even that one guy still asking you for your Peacock password every single month. And the best part, CyberGhost doesn't keep logs. Not even they know what you're doing online. So right now, with our link in the description, you guys can get CyberGhost VPN for just $2.03 a month, plus 4 months free. That's 84% off, and there's a 45-day money-back guarantee, so it's completely risk-free. So hit the link in the description, protect your privacy, unlock more content, and stop letting the internet track you worse than Paul Heyman tracking Roman Reigns. I want to thank CyberGhost VPN for once again sponsoring the show right here on Off the Script. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go and check out all the great content, including Sunday's Clash in Italy post-show. We had a banger of a stream. Short-form content's on the second channel. We uploaded twice today, a short and a huge clip from the stream on Sunday, so go check that out. We've been rocking and rolling on Instagram. We've been uploading reels when they matter. Go and check that stuff out. Support where you can, including on the audio side of things. This stream will be up on iTunes and Spotify immediately when I'm done here. Make sure you guys leave a comment, leave a rating, continue to support the audio side of things, man. We're rocking and rolling over there as well. We are a top 20 podcast here for pro wrestling in the United States, and it's all thanks to you guys, man. So continue that support, and let's keep it rolling, man. I want to have a great month of June, and I can't do it without you guys. Super chats are open. Get them on in. We're going to start at the top here with my guy, Michael Krause. $2 super chat. JDOTS, how are we all doing today? Let's go. Yeah. Thank you, Michael. Caden with a $1.99. Happy Monday Night Rocks, everyone. OTS for life. Oh, yeah. Michelle with a $2 super chat. So Bloodline will run roughshod on Raw. Boring. Super boring. Super boring. Incredible one. You and Coach going to be covering the AAA event. Absolutely. It's on the list of things to talk about. Right now, I could go over the list. I got to text it to him. The list, as of right now, because it's my job to come up with the topics. AW Dynamite continues to fumble coming out of a pay-per-view, though it wasn't all that bad. Tony Khan continues to tease Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega for Wembley Stadium. Americano versus Americano, match of the year, storyline of the year. WWE announces 2 nights of Triple Mania in 2 different cities. Cody versus Gunther ends in controversy. Did WWE disregard Gunther's build since retiring Cena? Brock vs. Oba 2, better than WrestleMania. Brock gets revenge, even series at 1-1. Jacob Fatu loses Tribal Combat. Now acknowledges Roman Reigns. King and Queen of the Ring tournament brackets reveal Triple H uses Fatal 4-Ways in first round. That's what I got so far. We got a lot to talk about. Tone VC with a $2 super chat. JD, do you like the band Biohazard? No. I do not. Michelle with a 2. Cody, Roman stare down after Clash. Another tease. Bro, this company is so lost that they are absolutely going to give us Roman Cody 3 because they don't know any better. Michelle with a 2. Very good main event. Does this mean no Seth Braun finals? No, I'm still going Seth Braun. I think we get Braun versus Oba. I think just that on the graphic is going to get people excited. Nobody else in that match makes sense. Nobody. Twister with a $4.99. I will say this. There are some damn good wrestling on tonight's show. That main event was so much better than their first match. Totally agree. And by the way, if you guys didn't hear what I had to say last night, yes, Bron Breakker versus Oba Femi will take place, in my opinion, in the second round, and Brock Lesnar will cost. I said this tonight as well, so you guys know I said this last night. Brock Lesnar will cost Oba Femi. Batman with a $2 super chat. JD, have you seen Spider Noir? It's really good. No. I have not. If that's a video game, I have not. Currently, I am grinding some Destiny 2 ahead of next week's update, and I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Lee Tom with the 4 months. Highlight tonight was the AAA replay showing up Triple GPT's shit show booking. OTS for Life, PS, loving Fire Ablaze, new album. Cheers. Fire Ablaze is great. The guy behind the Fire Ablaze YouTube channel is fucking awesome. Mike Wilkins with the $2 super chat. Finally caught my guy JD live. Well, that's what happens when we have these happy hour shows. Appreciate you being here, Mike. Julia's Trigger with a 46 Mullins. Happy Monday, JD. Been a VIP since 2022. Thank you for all that you do. Why they have Julia pinned in our home country is criminal. Move her to Raw. I said the same thing. I don't know why we didn't get Julia in the match. I don't know why we needed to have her take the pinfall. I mean, Lash Legend was right there. You could have even pinned Roxy and have her lose. It would have made the same impact with the Judgment Day being very nonchalant about her losing. Having Julia lose in her hometown in that Fatal 4-Way is just reckless booking. Careless booking. Who do I prefer, Aerith or Tifa? I go Tifa. Tone VC with a $5 super chat. Did you see the Braves announcer catch a foul ball in the booth? I did not. Did they play today? Oh, they're playing the Blue Jays tomorrow. They're playing Toronto tomorrow in Atlanta. Dingleberry with a $5 super chat. You're the king, JD. Thank you, Dingleberry. Cam G, thank you, brother, for the $100 super chat. I appreciate you, brother. WrestleMass with a $1.99. You know what's coming. Bloodline versus MFT's War Games. God. Oh. Oh. Sam Vargas with a $5 super chat. I hope the Spirit Squad comes back and whoops the Bloodline. Walker Stubbs with a $4.99. Saw the movie Obsession and I really liked it. 10 out of 10 would recommend it. Have you seen it? I have not. I'm interested in seeing Backrooms. I'm interested in seeing He-Man. And what is this movie? The End of Oak Street? Bro, I gotta see this movie, man. It's coming out in August. That movie looks fucking great. J.J. Abrams directing that, man. That movie looks fucking great, man. That looks fun as hell. That's my summer blockbuster this year. The End of Oak Street. Who's this? JD from NY207? Yeah, get this guy out of here. Get this guy out of here. I know I don't need to tell you guys, but there's a fake in the AW Media Scrum chats that impersonates me. It's not me. There's no way I could legitimately be live the same time during the post-show media scrums and then do what that guy does in the chat. Get him out. Best in the world, Matt, with a $5 super chat. Get ready for I Love You Roman instead of I Love You Solo. I love you, Roman. I love you, Roman. Because I'm all gas, no brakes with it. You know what I mean? The Iron. X Amir with a $1.99. In a perfect world, we'd get King Ilya. Ilya right now is serving as the executive co-chef in catering. No idea where Ilya Dragunov is. Hollywood guy with a $5 super chat. So with Julia getting buried, if you will, is she next on the budget cuts? I'm a fan of hers and she needs better. I hope not. That would be, bro, there would be a revolt. Tony Khan would sign her within the blink of an eye. You do realize that. I hope that's not the case. I think she's great. And the fact that they dropped the ball so badly on her is fucking insane. Captain Solo with a $5 super chat. How would you rate the band Godsmack? Do you have a favorite song? Yes, my favorite Godsmack song is Immune. Off their first album. And we got one final one here. You know what that means. We got to play best of the best. We got a $4.99 from my guy, Tantalizing Tag Team. My guy, Tantalizing Tony. I was at Clash/Raw. Terrible booking with Julia eating the pin. I fly home tomorrow. Brother, I hope you had a great time in turn. I hope you had as much pasta and pizza, if that's your thing. If not, understandable. If not, I hope you had a couple of espresso martinis for me. Or maybe a couple of shots of limoncello. Maybe an affogato. I hope you had a great time, bro. You guys are great. Thank you very much. A little happy hour stream here on this Monday afternoon. What am I going to do with the rest of my night? I don't know. Maybe I'll watch The Burrows on Netflix, being that I started that series. Maybe I'll take a shower. Maybe I'll hop on some Call of Duty. Maybe I'll get ready for next week Destiny's update. Or maybe I'll play some Final Fantasy VII, man. I got a whole Monday night ahead of me. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know. You guys are great. Thank you very much for all of your support. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys go and check out all the content. We're coming live to you tomorrow from the BTT studios with Jonathan Coachman on the 2 count. We got a lot to talk about. Tomorrow morning, 11:30 a.m. And then man, the main event. The main event of your Tuesday night. There's no NBA. There's nothing to stop you from watching TNT with me and the Solid Monster. Tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about all this shit. We're going to talk about the King and Queen of the Ring. We're going to talk about Clash in Italy. We're going to have a great time. Hopefully, Solid Monster's feeling a little bit better. And I will see you tomorrow morning with a big Tuesday right here with more on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.